This is my final evaluation for my final project. The first question is, did you carry out any independent research? Yes, I did. I did research into, the first bit of research I did was look at films, movies and all that. And the movie that I looked at the most was probably The Quiet Place. It's basically about this family have to stay in quiet and they have to speak in sign language, or instantly there'll be like some sort of creature that will hunt them down, so they have to live in silence and that. And it's a thriller / horror, and that's why I looked into it. And then I did a bit more like research depth into it, and there was this video about the director John Duskinski talking about his methods of his filming, and he said the best way you can build suspense in a thriller is with sound, and just like sometimes the greatest sound can be complete silence, and this helped us towards the information. This helped us because we actually used it in our film, because when the main character Jake gets shot by a drug dealer, and all you hear is a loud bang, and then it literally just goes silent. And then it builds suspense because the audience wants to know what's happened to the main character. And then we also put some eerie sound effects in there just to build the tension when he's picking up the bag, and so it's not just a plain walking scene. So we did a bit more depth in that. And then the next bit of research I did was look into short movies, and there was this one I looked at. It's called Dear Dad, and it's about this kid who gets bullied at school. His mum doesn't help him because she's an alcoholic. His dad was never there for him. He left at a young age, and he just keeps getting bullied, and after that he leaves a letter for his dad and saying he's given up, and then he ends up committing suicide just from all the bullying. And the reason why I'm going on about the bullying is because our main character actually gets bullied. We were gonna we've implied it in the movie, but we haven't straight up shown it. But so next time we probably could have shown it in our film. So that actually helped. But we were seeing how people treat people and how they bully them, and what you should do if you do find out if someone's getting bullied and that. And we sort of wanted to imply the methods of the bullying in that short movie into our movie, which we sort of did with the drug dealer, so that helped quite a lot. And then the other bit of research I did was about the props. We looked at fake guns, because we needed a scene where he pulls a gun out on the main character, and we had to research all the licensing for having a model gun and making sure that everyone on set was safe. And I also researched saying if you are having a model gun on set, you must know. Say if you're filming in a public area, which we were, you must let know all members of the public that you can clearly show that you're filming there, so they're not alarmed and that. I also emailed the authorities saying we'll be filming a scene with a fake model BB gun. So they were aware of that, and then we also put signs up on where we were filming saying Western College filming. I also got they were also saying just make it clear that you're filming, and then I got college pass. I got everyone in our group to wear college passes to make it look like we were filming, and we also told some of the members of the public that we were filming a gun scene and that. And we also, after we did research on that, we also looked on Amazon how much a model gun is, and they were about 15 quid, but then I remembered while we were looking for that, my dad has a model BB gun at home, so we used that for the gun scene, and it actually looked really realistic, and I was really happy with that. And then we also researched into, because there's a scene, when he gets shot, we also have to show a bit of fake blood, so we did a bit of research into that. Like, we were looking how much already made fake blood costs. It cost about $7.58, and you can get it off Amazon. There was a couple shops that were selling it near us, but then I thought it'd be a better idea if we got like a recipe for it. And me and Luke, my editor, we were looking at the recipe, and we got it. And when it came to the film week, we actually made our own fake blood, and it actually looked really realistic. But sadly, that didn't make it into our last film, because that scene was too bright. Like, how it was just too bright, because we didn't sort out the settings for the camera. But that research helped us, because we actually used the recipe from our research to make the fake blood, and it looked really realistic, and I was really happy with it. But sadly, it was just a camera work didn't look good enough. And the other bit of research we did was looking at character development. I looked at all the what it looked like, if what we wanted our main character to look like, because he obviously gets bullied, and that we wanted them to look quite pale, quite small, and the main character we picked was Ben Bain. He was quite pale and small, but he was still that. But he ticked off most of the boxes, and he was a very good actor. So that research actually helped us decide our main character, because implied by the pale skin that he doesn't go out much, he's not really social, so he just like doesn't go out, and he just likes to stay to himself and that. I referenced all the research, like, because whenever I did a bit of research, I'd always reference to why I'm researching it, because like what I've just been saying in the past minute, like I was referencing it to all the recipe with fake blood, like we used that, and with the gun model, how I let my team let everyone know, maybe like the public who were near the set, that we were filming the gun scene. And character development, like we got with our drug dealer, I was researching what does a common drug dealer, he's like quite tall, quite threatening, and Chad filled quite a lot of those boxes because he was quite tall, and he had a really strong posture of like that, and the research helped us quite a lot there. And I did analyse my research, like I would go through it, seeing if it was a necessary research. Like with the character development was very necessary. Our poster one, that I did another poster research. We were comparing like a Disney movie with a thriller. Like the one I did was Genie and Aladdin and Taken, and it was just a big difference. Like one's dark and with really like red text and just really dark colours, and the other one was bright because it appeals to kids. So overall, we used that. We knew from the research that we wanted our poster to be quite dark, and our finished production is with red writing. We've got the gun out, it's all black and grey. It's really nice. It's really eye-catchy as well with just the red writing, and we got that all from our research, because we didn't really know what our thriller poster would look like, so that really helped. Next question: how much involvement did you have in the planning stages? Well, with the planning stage, because I'm the director, I wanted to make sure everyone put their idea in. So before we started, like just throwing ideas, I was like, why don't we make a mind map on all the ideas we have for the film, and everyone in the group put an idea down, and then I thought it would be good if because I didn't want any arguing or anything, I thought it would be if we have a majority vote. And we went with the two ideas we were going to have is the one I came up with, which was the idea we actually used, but we developed it a bit more. But it was called phone history. Like he finds the phone, picks it up, and then the other one was called Bleeding. It's about this kid who finds this, does a deal with a demon, and then he starts to lose his soul. And also, I forgot to mention this, before we did that, we wanted to pick a genre, and we all did another majority vote that we did out. We picked out of, we were going to do either a comedy, a horror, or a thriller, and I think we had 2 votes for comedy, 1 vote for horror, and then we had 4 votes for thriller. So we went for the thriller overall because I wanted to make it fair as possible. And then I would say I wanted, because I did quite a lot because I came up with the idea, and me and Ryan just started developing it a bit more, and then we came up with making the background information for the main characters and all that. We also I helped out by finding our main character, because I'm good friends with Ben Payne, and he does production arts, and he was, like I was saying earlier, he was perfect for our main character. So we used him, and I was good friends with him, so I gave him a text saying, would you like to have a main character role in our film? And he was like, yeah, of course, just give me the character bio and all that. So I've done quite a lot in the planning stage. I helped with the locations that I came up with. Why didn't we go to the Burbeck car park we used in our film, and the Sandbay car park as well, which actually were really nice scenic areas, like with the woodland bit and the car park. And then with the Burbeck Road, you had the graffiti to give it the background a bit more personality, which I thought was a nice little touch. And yeah, have your skills developed in the pre-production process? I'd like to say yes, because we never had to do such a big task as this, and like I say, my Weebly has helped me a lot with my research and that, and I have had some help in that with my group, but overall, yeah, my teamwork skills have got a lot more better in the pre-production planning stage, because like I was saying, I wanted to make it as fair as possible, so I did a majority vote, and I wanted to just make the team as happy as possible with the idea we got. So we did a majority vote. My communication skills got so much better from the pre-production process, how I came up with the idea, and we developed it more with more depth, and yeah, that was further research. Can you effectively communicate about your idea? How was your contribution in the team meetings and on the pitch day? Well, can you effectively communicate about it? Well, I'd say yes, because I came up with the idea to start with, because I sort of got the idea of a Netflix channel I was watching. It was basically about this guy who was casually just walking to work, and he witnesses a car crash, and the guy who was in the car crash drops his phone, and because he's so shocked, he hears the police coming, and he just runs off. But before he does that, he takes the phone, and they sort of go on a mad, like, crazy journey, like with like getting into trouble because that, and I've sort of wanted to have a bit of that because I think it had a nice like element of unknown in that, and I communicated that with my team really well, and they really liked the idea. So overall, we went with the phone idea one, and we just started developing it, and that's what we got for our final film. And I also communicated the idea of going to the different locations, and that we also had a group chat so we could communicate our ideas. Like, say if we weren't together, we would like communicate our ideas on a messenger, which was very helpful. Which was very helpful. And how was your contribution to the team meetings? Well, with the team meetings to start with, I had quite a lot to talk about. Well, throughout all, I had quite a lot to talk about, but at the start, it wasn't like the concerning ones. It was mainly just the planning stages and then move forward. But then when it got to about the third production meeting, that's when I started to put my foot a bit down a bit because people weren't pulling their own weight. So I addressed that on the meeting, and even though I was being a bit strict, I still addressed it because I wanted the team to know, and I didn't want to just be quiet because I wanted to pitch what my thoughts to the team so everyone knew what I was thinking, because I'm the director, I'm leading the group, so I need to contribute quite a lot into the team meetings. And yeah, most of all the production meetings I address quite a lot of things in them, as you can clearly see from my Weebly that I've had. Also, I address any concerns and issues, and also communicating our ideas. Like, say if one of my groups didn't like someone else's idea, I would let the person who just said their idea explain what their idea would be about, and then the person who was disagreeing, I'd see like how they could make the idea better, because my group, we did have a bit of a rough patch, like not many people throwing their own weight, there was a bit of arguing now and then, but we sorted it out because I just wanted everyone to get on, and I think my communication skills helped a lot in that situation. So yeah, and my contribution to the team meetings as well, like how I addressed it and not just leave it to the teachers, because the teachers aren't part of our group, so I thought it would be better if I actually just address it in the team meetings and actually sort it out with the group and not let the teachers, like even though the teacher did sort it out, I still wanted to sort it out myself, because it's my job as the director to make sure everyone is okay and willing to carry on with the project. Okay, next question. On the pitch day, I'd like to say it went really well. My team contributed a lot, but I had to say quite a lot because it was, like I was saying, it was my idea with the whole phone history, and I'm saying how I explained the story, and then I also had to explain the backstory of the main characters off the top of my head, because we forgot to put that in our prezi, so I had to come up with it at the top of my head. But I still, like, I didn't make it up, but like I remember what we were talking about, but we just didn't have it in the prezi, so I didn't have it to remind myself. So I had to contribute the whole backstory, and I also explained a bit more about the story. And then I also responded back to the feedback the pitch gave us, saying how the main character should just it doesn't make sense if the main character meets the drug dealers, because it wouldn't make sense. So what we did is that he just gets a text message from them, and they do the deal through text, and then because he doesn't pay him because he was posted as another person, they said that he can confront him with, like, in a threatening way, and then he ends up killing him because he didn't give back his he didn't give him the money for the drugs, and that. So I thought that was a really good idea, and we actually used that in our final film. So my response to that is that I really like the idea, so we actually put it into our film. So yeah, and I would like to say I contributed quite a lot to the pitch. I explained our story very clearly, and the pitch did like it. It's just that one little tweak they did with it, and they really liked the concept of it, how it loops around, like it starts off with the guy picking up the phone, and it ends with his mate picking up the phone, so it does pretty much a whole loop. So the pitch really liked that. On to the next. Can you identify a key moment in your project when your team had to make a decision? Yes, there was quite a lot of these. This one was quite a pain, but after we did our film week, on the Friday we looked back at the footage, and most of it was unusable, so I came up with a tough decision in our production meeting. I came up with a tough decision to reshoot everything again in the reshoot day, and I wanted everyone to be there, and I was saying I'm going to make sure everyone was going to be there. And some people did not like the idea of reshooting everything filming everything again on reshoot day, but I wanted this to be to the best of its ability, so it was a very big decision, and it was a good one because overall the movie is really good now. From the footage we got from Film Week, a good half of it was unusable because there was a smudge on it, the lighting was too bad, so we did the stuff again. It was actually raining on that day, so it made the scenes a lot more dramatic, which I really liked. So that decision actually helped us in the long run, and I also had, when we had to, with the decision making as well, like I said, with when we did the majority votes and that, because I wanted to make it as fair as possible for the group, so no one's annoyed or frustrated. So everyone got to pitch their idea in the group meeting, like with the we had a massive mind map and everyone put their own idea in. And I was like, oh, let's do a majority vote of which ones we like the most. And then we did the top four. Yeah, that's four. The top four, and then we did another vote, a majority vote, and then we did the top two, and then we did another majority vote for the top one, and that was the phone history one, which was my idea, and then we explained that in the pitch, and they really liked that as well. And yeah, so throughout the whole of our project we've made quite a lot of hard decisions, like with the drug dealer per se. We did have an actor for drug dealing, but he cancelled at the last minute, which was quite annoying, but we already had a contingency plan, which was Chad, who was part of the group already, and he was going to be there, so he actually ended up playing the drug dealer, which we were a bit frustrated about, but it overall was really good. So I was quite glad we had the contingency plan because we actually used it as well, so that was another decision we had to make. What informed these decisions and how did they move the project forward? Like I was saying, like with the reshoot day, if we hadn't have done that, half of it would have been unusable, and we wouldn't have got nowhere near to the 8-minute mark. We would have been on like the 3 minutes, because that's how much of the footage was unusable, so that really helped as well. So with the majority vote, that helped us actually pick an idea without any confrontation, which I really thought was really good. Then we also, with the drug dealer with the contingency plan, if we didn't have that, we wouldn't know what to do if we didn't have a drug dealer on that day, because he cancelled on the night, so we already had the contingency plan in, but if we didn't, we wouldn't know what to do, and we might have had to scrap that whole idea together. We might have to scrap that scene altogether, and it would have ruined the movie. So yeah. Next question: How did the dynamic of working in a team of 7 affect you? Well, I'm not. I like working in a big group because I'm very respectful, and I like working as a group because I'm a born leader. I'm very respectful, and I always I always let everyone have their say because I have the respect for it. And I thought it was really good. It was like extra hands, even though not everyone can make it to the film weeks, but it was still on the reshoot day when everyone was there. It was so helpful. Like I could literally just do my one job, which was to direct everyone. When on the film week I had to do recording the sound, I had to direct, I had to do the camera operating, I had to make sure everyone was there. It was just so much hassle for one person. But yeah, when everyone was there on the 7th, on the reshoot day, it was really helpful, and I actually got the concept of what it was like to have 7 people working on set. It was really helpful, and it's really helpful when like you can help someone as well, because I've helped people with their Weebly's, which is where we do all coursework. I help people with their production logs. Like I'm a very helpful person when it comes to the teamwork, and they helped me as well. So I was giving help and they were giving it back. So I thought that was very helpful as well. And did you improve on your teamwork skills? Well, I would say my teamwork is like, I'd say yes, because I was at the start of the year. I would say I wasn't super nervous because I'm quite used to be like standing up the front, talking, working in a big group, talking out in a big group. I was used to that, but it was actually like being in charge of a big group, because I was the director. It was a bit nerve-wracking at sometimes but I overcame those fears, and I came up with a fair way to decide the ideas, let everyone say their ideas, even throughout when we were planning the movie. Like I wanted everyone to put their own ideas in, and it's just really helpful. Yeah, so I would say my teamwork skills have developed. Like my communication with my teamwork has got much better, and my nerves have got a lot more better since the start of the year. If so, there were a bit of ups and downs with the teamwork. Like I was saying, there was not everyone could make it on the film weeks, which was quite frustrating. But but they made sure they like text me saying they had issues, like technical issues, some were ill, and which I thought was very respectful. If they hadn't let me know, then that's when I would have been a bit frustrated. But everyone who wasn't there let me know what was happening, what was wrong with them. So yeah, the communication side on the teamwork was very good, but it was just like some people weren't really like throwing their weight. Like some people were messing around when I was busy directing, which was quite frustrating. But I managed to put them in line, and then I would tell them like, can you stop that? We're in a public area, and then they'd crack on, and then they'd do their work really well. And like I'm saying, it's like that because I'm not afraid to like tell someone in a more of a strict way to tell them what they're doing. Like because I've said like if they're not doing something, then like what's the point in that? But yeah, overall, I'd say my teamwork was really good throughout most of it. Next one. Did all your ideas go through the element of your film? Well, most of it did. There was one shot I was a bit annoyed that couldn't make it in there, which was which was where he has the gun point at the lens, and then he goes up and it's boom. I thought that would have been a really nice shot for like when he shoots him and it's just black, because like sort of makes you feel like you're in his shoes. But it was quite sad we couldn't put it in there because we just couldn't fit in there, and that was on the film week as well, so the footage was just really bright, so we couldn't have used it. With the industry, they would most likely have filmed that on that day as well, which was what I probably should have done as well, but yeah. Yeah, are you satisfied that you stuck to the schedule? Yeah, the schedule was very clear, everyone understood it, and like I would, like on the day before, I would just remind everyone saying, the schedule says we're going to meet at this time, at this location. Everyone was like, yeah, we already know, we've got the schedule. So I'm glad everyone could clearly understand our schedule, and I'm quite glad everyone stuck with it as well, because the people who did turn up to film week, we got some most of the shots had smudges on them, but the ones we used in the film, like we did use some of the shots from film week into the film, which was the ones inside Luke's house, and yeah, we did really well, and we wouldn't have done that if we didn't have the schedule, because for one, we wouldn't know where we were going, what time, what scenes we would be filming, but and like what people would contact if we didn't know where we were going. But our schedule had what scenes we were filming, where we were going, what time, my phone number, my email, so you can text me saying, oh, where is everyone and that. Yeah, so I'm glad we stuck to our schedule. Did you meet all the requirement deadlines? Yeah, I met all the deadlines. We met the deadline for our film, and then we met the deadline for the film week, which was, we had a whole week and we finished on the Friday, and then we realised some of the footage was unusable, so I spoke to Gina saying would there possibly be a reshoot day, and she said yes, but it's only one day, so that's why we had to film so much on the reshoot day, because we only had one day. So yeah, but we knew with everything, with my Weebly I met the deadline, I handed it in on the day, and Gina was really happy with it. So yeah, I'd say I met all the deadlines. How did I check you? How did you check? How did I check we were on track? Well, how we checked is I've kept it in my calendar, all the deadlines, so I knew that the deadlines for the film week was not too long. There was that week, which it was on the Friday at 5 o'clock, and the Weebly was the deadline yesterday, which was the 17th, and I already knew that because I put it into my calendar, so I knew. And everyone else knew as well, because we put it in our schedule as well. I was quite happy with the pace we were working at. We had to, most of it I was happy with when it came to the planning stages, we were doing really well, but the filming day was a sort of bit rocky, because not many everyone could make it, but we still did film everything on the week and it did run very smoothly. But it was the reshoot day that was just really hard, because we were filming for about 5.5 hours, and it was quite hectic because people were a bit panicking because we needed to get it done. So we came with the ideas to film 1, 2 and 7 scene at Sandbay, because that's where we didn't want to backtrack to save time and that. And we did, even though it was a bit hectic that bit, we still kept at a professional pace, and we moved the project at a very reasonable pace, and I was very happy with it because we met the deadlines and everything was over the deadline. I was very happy with it. How did you technical skills on your project, such as camera, audio, editing, Photoshop, green shot, and that? Well, with my camera skills, they have developed a lot because I had to do a bit of the camera work. Like I did the shot where Ben, Jake, the main character, is going down the stairs, and it pans through the whole of the background of the park. Because the reason why I wanted to do that was give the background a bit of personality. So it's mainly like it was like a sort of a monologue, but with still telling the story at the same time, because he was still moving in the shot as well. So yeah, because I never knew that you could do that with that, and I learned a couple. I came up with the idea with the camera was to put the camera inside the bag, and he zips it open, he like grabs it and then it fades to another scene, because I sort of implies that he's just took out what was ever in the bag, and it also sort of shows his emotions, like proper face-to-face emotions. That's why we brought out 2 cameras on the film week. Yeah, so I'd say my camera skills got a lot better. Audio, I would say, has got a lot better as well, because I was doing a lot of the sound recording on the film week, and the audio we did because we looked at a shotgun mic and it all sounded really good. Like we had a boom pole, and it all sounded really good. Like I never used a boom pole before, and I got taught how to use it properly, and it was very useful. And actually, some of the audio sounded really nice, and I was really happy with it. Editing skills, yeah, my editing skills got much better. Like I was also I edited the prologue on our movie, which was just shots of Jamie just walking and then a voiceover over it, and there were about 5 different shots, but I went through them all to see what would be the nicest, and the 3 shots I got had a nice flow between them, so that's why I did that. And then I added the voiceover over that prologue, and then also with the audio, I forgot to mention that I also helped Luke to pick out some of the sound effects, because we were looking at level 3s were giving us help with some like thriller, tension building sound effects, and I was looking through them and sending them to Luke, and he really liked them and that. Photoshop we didn't really do much of. Green shot we didn't really do much of. But yeah, most of that I learned quite a lot with when it came to the editing, audio and cameras work. Yeah. On the screening day, I was very nervous because on that day we had to do all the sound all over again, which was quite annoying, but we had to do that. But I was really happy with the feedback. They said, from what I've heard, because I had to go up and say like how the team worked, and I said like how we had to reshoot everything on the reshoot day, and they said even though you've gone through quite a lot of technical issues, I really like the concept of the whole because our movie's called Loop, and it pretty much does a whole loop. Like it starts off with him picking up the phone, and ends off with his friend picking up the phone, and they really like that, and they really liked the sense like how the title comes up at the end. So like, because the reason why I said that is because if we had the title at the start, you would sort of already know that a loop's gonna happen, but when it's at the end, people reacting to it were saying I didn't like I know I understood what the glitches were once I saw the title, because like there was a glitch at the start when he picks up the phone, and there was another glitch when his mate picks up the phone, and then one of the people who said that the response when they saw the title, they were like, ah, so they like that's like I sort of wanted them to happen, so I really liked that feedback. And they also, the feedback was saying how saying with the camera in the bag was a really nice shot, but then there was some cons, if I'd like to say, like with when the shots that we did, I forgot that in the old shots in his house he was wearing the college badge, and they picked up on that, like how he was wearing his college badge and wasn't wearing his jumper, so that was a big continuity error. And I said yeah, because when we were on the filming week, he was wearing just the coat and the top and a college pass, and on the reshoot I completely forgot about he was wearing his college pass, so that was my mistake, and I've learnt from that. So I've now learnt a valuable lesson that you should always check your old footage before you go film new footage, which is a very valuable lesson I've learnt. Yeah, so if I could start the project again, I would I would put a bit more depth into the main character. Our idea for the prologue was have him waking up from bed and he gets like loads of text messages saying you're worthless, why are you even coming in today? Sort of show a bit more bullying, so it makes it sympathise for yourself, so you can sort of understand why he does this, because he wants to make his life a bit more interesting. We did try to show that in the prologue, we didn't have the time, because like Ben was very busy because he's been doing a lot of rehearsals, and my house is at the 3-mile radius, so we couldn't do it in mine. So yeah, that was and people, the person we did it at house was Luke, and he had some personal issues. So yeah, so if I could change it, I'd probably do a better prologue, but everything else, and add that shot when the gun goes off and it sort of gives it like a first person perspective. And also I'd like to put a shot of him with like fake blood on him, so it sort of shows that he's died. And yeah, what have you learned from this experience? Identifying. What I've learned from this experience is I've learned that you should always check your equipment in between shots, so and also make sure what setting your camera is on. Say if it's a really bright day, you can have it on a lower setting so it doesn't look super bright, so you can still pick up the footage. And how to use a boom pole, because I never knew how to use a boom pole. How to give a background personality, which I learned through YouTube. I was going through a bit of YouTube on how to make monologues more dramatic, and I learned from that. But probably my biggest strength I've got from this is probably my respect. Like, my respect was very good anyway. I'm not saying I was disrespectful, but like giving everyone, like, because I've never been in charge. I'd say like my teamwork skills has gotten much better, because I've never been in charge of a group of 7 people and telling them what to do. It just feels really odd, but I did it in a respectful way. Like, I was giving everyone majority votes, because that's the most fairest way possible to like avoid confrontation, and everyone tributed their own ideas with the movie and helped develop the ideas as well. I didn't leave anyone out in that, and I think that's probably the biggest strength throughout this. And last question, were you pleased with the final outcome? I'd have to say yes. I was very sceptical at first because we were looking at all the old footage and I was not happy with it one bit. But I'm really happy with the people's people's response in the screen day, how they really liked the concept, how it loops, and that's what I wanted to show. It's sort of like the dead body at the start. It sort of lets the audience sort of write their own story within the story, because they could be like, how did that dead body get there? What was that? And then you could have and then when he picks up the phone, he's like, what's going to happen to him then? Is the loop gonna happen again? I wanted it to leave sort of a couple of questions, and I'm really happy with that. And yeah, I'm really happy with the final outcome. It got most of the shots. The editing was really good, the glitch, and I loved Ben's acting was amazing. Some of the camera shots were amazing. The audio sounded amazing. The backgrounds were really nice. The props looked really realistic, and I was really happy about that. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. That is my evaluation for my final project.